الحمد لله رب العالمين، له الحمد الحسن والثناء الجميل، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله فردا صمدا لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحدا، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى أصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. Welcome each other to another episode on Sharhu Tuhfatul Atfaal, the explanation of Tuhfatul Atfal, the poem Tuhfatul Atfal on Tajweed. And I believe by now you must have watched the previous episodes. Today, inshallah, I would move to the next few lines and translate them and explain them concisely, inshallah. So the author of the poem says in the next line, in previous episodes, we've discussed the muqaddama, which is the introduction, and we mentioned one of those very important things that we need to learn in this fan of tajweed, which is an-nun as-sakina wa tanween. That is the nun, the unvoweled nun, the nun that has sukun, and the nun that takes sukun, and at-tanween, which is fathatani, kathratani, and dhammatan. And we mentioned that these four, they have four rules that guide them when you meet them in the Quran. So we mentioned those four rules and we explained one of them. We mentioned al-idhar, al-idgham, al-iqlab, and al-ikhfa. These are the four rules that guide the four of them. And we mentioned idhar, and it has 6 letters, the 6 letters of al-halq, of the throat. So anytime you see any of these letters succeeding a nun that has sukun, or any of the tanween, whether it is fathatani, kasratani, and dhammatan, then we have the rule called al-idhar. So today, inshallah, we'll be discussing al-idgham, and he explains with these few lines. Let me recite the lines before explaining them, before translating and explaining. The poet said, والثاني إدغام بستة أتت في يرملون عندهم قد ثبتت لكنها قسمان قسم يدغما فيه بغنة بينمو علما إلا إذا كان بكلمة فلا تدغم كدنيا ثم صنوان تلا والثاني إدغام بغير غنة في اللام والراء ثم كررنه. He says والثاني إدغام بستة أتت في يرملون عندهم قد ثبتت. And the second of the four rules of an-nun as-sakina wa tanween, the four rules that guide nun that has sukun, unvoweled nun, and at-tanween. The second of it is what? Al-idgham. And when we say idgham, it is actually when you istilahan, it is when you pronounce a letter. It is you pronounce a letter with sukun, or when you have a letter with sukun and a letter that is muharraka, that's a letter that is voweled, a letter that has haraka, whether it is fathatani, whether it is fatha, dhamma, or kasra. You then take these two letters together, join them together, and you pronounce it just as one letter. That is, it is simply idkhalu shay'in fi shay'in. It is when you put something, a letter, into another letter, and you pronounce both letters as just one letter. I hope that's understood. Inshallah, that's just the theoretical aspect. Inshallah, I would explain with examples later on, inshallah. It says وَثَانِي إِدْغَامٌ بِغَيْرِ غُنَّةٍ. The second of these rules is idgham. We started وَثَانِي إِدْغَامٌ بِسِتَّةٍ أَتَتْ فِي يَرْمَلُونَ عِنْدَهُمْ قَدْ ثَبَتَتْ. The second of the rules is idgham. I mentioned that idgham is simply putting a letter into another letter. A letter with sakina, a letter with sukun into a letter that is voweled, and then pronouncing both letters as just one letter with shadda. That is while laying emphasis on the letter that you pronounce just as one letter. So, and we explain how that is possible. So it says the second is idgham bisittatin atat. It has 6 letters. by the collection of six letters, by the collection of six letters actually. And these letters fi yarmaluna, it is gathered together in the acronym yarmalun. Yarmalun, 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 ya ra mim lam waw and nun. The six letters that form this acronym are the letters of idgham. That is, the six letters in yarmalun are the letters of idgham. The first is ya, second ra, third mim, lam, waw and nun. عندهم قد ثبت. So all of this established with the people of Tajweed. So Yarmalun, the letters of Idgham, when you are asked what are the letters of Idgham, you say they are six, and it is joined together in the collection of six letters occurring in the acronym Yarmalun. لكنها قسمان قسم يدغم. But you see the six letters of Idgham or Idgham of this kind, generally it is of two groups. However, there are two groups. لكنها. However, there are two groups. قسم يدغم. We have a qism. We have a group of these six letters that some of them we use in which the ghunnah occurs in them. You make ghunnah while pronouncing some of these letters, and they are four in number. Inshallah, we'll explain all of it with examples. فيه بغنة بينمو علما. So these ones you express ghunnah. Ghunnah is like the nasal snuffle. That's nasal snuffle or that nasal twang when you pronounce something that it is felt in your nostril, in your nasal cavity. So you lay emphasis on it and you feel it in your nasal cavity. So when you use the khayshum, that is the nostrils to pronounce the letter, that is when you are observing the phenomenon of al-ghunnah. So فيه بغنة بينمو علما. So in these ones, the ghunnah occurs in them, and they are known with the acronym YENMU. YENMU. That is YENMU. The four-letter word. It's a four-letter word. It is formed by four letters, and these four letters are the letters of idgham that has ghunnah. So literally, we have two types of idgham in this regard. So in this regard, we have two types of idgham. That has ghunnah, and the other does not have ghunnah. So the ones that have ghunnah is what we are talking about now. We said they are formed by four letter word acronym. That is, there are four letters. They are just four letters. Ya, Yenmu, so Ya, Nun, Mim, and Wa. If you notice, if you look well, this Yenmu is derived from Yarmalun. It is from the word Yarmalun. We have Ya, we have Mim, we have Nun also, and we have Wa. So these four letters. So what is left? We have just two letters left. So these two letters left are the letters of Idgham that does not have ghunnah. There's another. So we mentioned now that there are two types of idgham. The first one has ghunnah, which is that expression when you use your nostrils to pronounce the letter, laying emphasis on it, and the other one does not have ghunnah. And I would explain, as I said, I will explain with examples, inshallah. So, but before that, the author says, إلا إذا كان بكلمة فلا تدغم كدنيا ثم سنوان تلا. You see, this one, we're still talking about the idgham with ghunnah. A type of idgham where you observe the nasal snuffle, except when this type of idgham occurs in a single word. When it occurs in a single word, fala tudghim, do not observe idgham. Do not observe idgham if the idgham occurs in a single word. So what we are talking about literally is, when you have any of these six letters, yarmalun. Generally, when you have any of these six letters of yarmalun, ya, ra, mim, lam, waw, and nun, and what is preceded by any of it is either nun sakina, nun that has sukun, or the tanween, which may be fathatani, kaswatani, or dhammatan. If it is preceded by one of these, if any of the letters of idgham is preceded by one of these, then we have the phenomenon called al-idgham. That is, you have to take that nun sakina or any of the tanween that precedes it. You have to put it inside one of these letters of idgham, and you pronounce it as just one letter. You just pronounce it as just one letter. But in the case of letters that, if this actually happens in just one word, then you should not observe idgham. You just pronounce it like idhar. You make it idhar. And what is idhar? Judging by the definition of idhar in our last class, we said idhar is when you pronounce a letter from its makhraj, from its source. You source out a letter from its makhraj without observing ghunnah, without laying emphasis, without showing any form of nasal, snuffle, or in any way. So illa idha kana bi kalimatin fala, except when it occurs in a single word. Example is fala tudghim, do not make idgham. Example is dunya, do not say dunya, dunya. We'll give examples for what we mentioned above, inshallah. And also sinwan. So words like sinwan, dunya, bunyan, qinwan, you just pronounce it normally. You say dunya, pronouncing the noon. Normally, if we were to observe idgham, we will take the, because the noon there has sukun, and the ya is the letter, the ya that is succeeding the noon is the letter of idgham. So we ought to like put the noon inside the ya. We ought to insert the noon inside the ya and pronounce the ya as just one letter. We ought to say dunya, 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 but that is not. That will change the meaning. So in this kind of, because we mentioned that if it occurs in a word, then we should not observe the idgham. So in these cases, like dunya, sinwan, qinwan, bunyan, we do not observe idgham. We observe izhar. You observe idhar. So you say dunya, pronouncing the noon and the ya. Qinwan, pronouncing the noon and the wa. Sinwan, and like that. And it says وَالثَّانِي إِدْغَامٌ بِغَيْرِ غُنَّةٍ. وَالثَّانِي إِدْغَامٌ بِغَيْرِ غُنَّةٍ. The second type, the second grouping of idgham are those that do not have the nasal snuffle, do not have ghunnah. Though you still insert a letter into another letter, but do not lay emphasis when you do that. Do not just pronounce it normally without using the nasal snuffle or staying too long with the laying emphasis on the letter. And this occurs fil lami wa ra. It occurs in lam and ra. ثم كررنا. And in the letter ra, it has the sifa of tikrar. Sifa of tikrar is when you, that sound that you get when you pronounce r. But normally when you cite in the Quran, you should not observe the tikrar phenomenon. You should not observe it. Because you should pronounce Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim without saying, do not say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim like many people recite. So that is the literal, that's the translation of the few poems that we'll take today. So let's move to examples, like practical examples. I think it's not obvious on the screen. We mentioned previously that idgham is of two types, as regards to known sakin and known that is on vowel, as is taking sukun, that has sukun, and tanween, which is fathatani, kasratani, or dhammatan. So there are four rules, and idhar, idgham, iqlam, and ikhfa. So we discussed idhar. Now I want to discuss idgham. So we mentioned idgham is of two types. The first type, idgham, the letters of idgham generally, there are 6. Ya, ra, mim, lam, waw, and nun. So these are the 6 letters. You may not arrange it, but yeah, these are the 6 letters, like Yarmalun, in the acronym Yarmalun. So we said 4 of these letters fall under the type of idgham that you observe the nasal twang, that is the ghunnah. You lay emphasis when you want to observe their idgham. And they are yanmu, that is ya, nun, mim, and wa. So how do you observe this? So if you look at the example on the screen, the word nun, the letter nun that has sukun is preceding ya, that is in man yaqul. So, and we mentioned that in this case you observe ghunnah. So how do you recite? You say man yaqul. If you listen well, I did not pronounce the nun. I have inserted the nun into the ya, to the letter ya. So I just pronounced one letter, which is ya, with shadda. It means you give the ya shadda, because you've inserted the letter into it, and you now lay emphasis on it, like it's using the your nasal cavity. So you say man yaqul, man yaqul. So this is how you cite it. An example for tenwin preceding ya is barqun yaj'alun, barqun yaj'alun. You do not say barqun yaj'alun without observing the ghunnah. That's wrong. So example for nun, which is also one of those letters that fall under the idgham with ghunnah, the type of idgham with ghunnah. Min ni'mah. See, it is one nun we are pronouncing with shadda and ghunnah. So you say min ni'mah. And example of tenwin coming before preceding the letter nun is yawma idhin na'imah, yawma idhin na'imah. And example for meme is nun, for nun preceding meme, and meme is also from the letters of ghunnah. Mimma lillah, mimma lillah. And also lu'lu'am manthura, lu'lu'am manthura, in the case of tenwin preceding meme. And the last of the letters of idgham with ghunnah is wa, al-waw. And example for idgham of wa where nun precedes it is min wal. You see, we did not pronounce the nun. We've inserted the nun into the wa, pronouncing the wa with shadda and ghunnah. So min wal. Do not say mi wal, or do not say min wal. You say min wal. And also wali kullin wij'ah. So that's for example for tenwin before and preceding al-wa. So I mentioned in the poem that except if they occur in a single word. You see, all of these, they do not occur in a single word. That is, we have man and yaqul, we have min and ni'mah. They are two words different entirely. So in these cases, we observe idgham. So we only have this type of idgham occurring in a single word in just 4 places in the Quran. So you do not need to fret out how do I recognize them. They're just 4. So just memorize the words dunya, bunyan, qinwan, and sinwan, and we have it on the screen. So these 4 places, they occur in the Quran. These 4 words occur in the Quran, and these 4 do not observe the idgham. You recite dunya. Do not say dunya like we mentioned. Do not insert the nun into ya. You say dunya. You say bunya. Do not say bunya. You recite with idhar, just naturally. Bunya, bunyan, dunya, bunyan, qinwan, and sinwan. So that's all for idgham with ghunnah. So moving to the next, which is idgham bighayr ghunnah. Lam and ra mentioned that fi lam wa ra thumma karriranna. So we have that in just lam and ra. And it is not as if you would not insert any letter into another letter. You actually insert letters into another letter. That is, you insert nun or tenwin or whatever is preceding the lam or the ra. You insert from the 4 things that we know, which is the nun sakina or fatatani, kasratani, or dhamatan. If they should precede lam or ra, if any one of them should precede lam or ra, then you observe idgham too. But you should not lay emphasis. That is, do not use the ghunnah. Do not observe the nasal snuffle. So example is milladun. If you listen well, milladun, I inserted nun into lam. That is, I did not pronounce the nun, but I did not say milladun. I did not lay emphasis on it. I just said milladun. So this is how you cite lam and ra only. فَسَلَامٌ لَكَ مِنْ أَصْحَابِ الْيَمِينِ. I did not say فَسَلَامٌ لَكَ like I observed in the first 4. Do not recite like that. So you just pronounce it while inserting the tenwin or the nun into the letter, without ghunnah. فَسَلَامٌ لَكَ مِنْ أَصْحَابِ الْيَمِينِ فَسَلَامٌ لَكَ مِنْ لَدُنْ. And also for ra, مِنْ رَبِّهِمْ. Not say مِنْ رَبِّهِمْ, that's wrong. That's, you're observing ghunnah that way, and ra does not have ghunnah. So you just say مِنْ رَبِّهِمْ, مِنْ رَبِّهِمْ. And also غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ for tanween preceding ra. غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ, غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. So that's all on Idgham as regards to Nun Sakin and Tanween. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us understand better and to grant us success. بإذن الله تعالى. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.